All right. So we are going to talk about sentence equivalence. Now, like already Janvi and others have told, so what is happening? Let's look at the question format. You are given a fill in the blanks. Okay. What you have to do, there are 6 words that are given. You have to choose any 2 synonyms in such a way that they do not alter the meaning of the sentence, right? So I've already highlighted the 4 important things you have to remember. There is one blank, you have 6 words to choose from, you have to choose 2 synonyms, and then they both should convey equivalent meaning, or essentially, the idea should not change. Even the slightest change can result to your answer being a wrong one, right? So something that usually happens in this type of a question format is that out of the 6 options that you're going to get, you might get confused between 3, 4, right? So we had a very detailed discussion in our previous session that you have to focus on the meaning, you have to focus on the context that is there, and based on that, you have to figure out vocabulary, why we have to do it in depth. All of that gets implied here. Okay. But one thing that I'll suggest to all of you is that do not think that, it's purely vocabulary. It can be very easy as well. So even if you do not know the words, at times the sentence gives away the meaning, right? So we'll start with that. We'll directly start with the examples in this one. So now let's take up this particular example. Okay, so despite the CEO's dash for risk, her decisions proved overly conservative. So very quickly, bring in your guesses.
A.
A, tangent, okay. Apart from tangent, anybody else, any other word? We have to choose 2. You do not have to choose just a single word. We have to choose 2. All right. So,
Enthusiasm.
enthusiasm, all
E.
right. Okay. So, I can see that, again, you have made the most common mistake we end up making. You focused on the idea that yes, we have to choose a synonym. Okay, Naveen. So penchant happens to be a correct answer. Very good. Apart from penchant, the next answer that would be correct in this situation is relish. The last word, option F, relish. Why? Why not enthusiasm? So now here we'll very quickly apply elimination. Yes. When we look at the sentence, what is the central mood of the sentence? What is that one quality of the CEO that we are talking about?
Contradictory. Is
On
risk-taking behavior. She's high.
risk, yeah, correct. The risk-taking behavior. So can I say that from the construction of the sentence, I can reduce that I have to choose something that talks about the CEO being a risk-loving person. Now we have to choose 2 words that are signifying that she enjoys risk. Okay. She needs to have the taste for it that, okay, yes, I want to take that risk. Tangent, relish, and then we also have enthusiasm. So, yes, enthusiasm is a far fetched synonym, but then enthusiasm is more related to excitement, not enjoyment. So, can you see how the meanings have diverged? Excitement versus enjoyment. It's a very thin line. Of course, or like both the words, if I talk about relish and I talk about enthusiasm, both of them are discussing or trying to talk about something that a person would like to do or would be keen to go for, right? But then enthusiasm deals with to be excited for something. Relish, on the other hand, means that you savor it. You like to do that. So Penchant and relish. So she enjoys risk-taking behavior. She likes it. Then, of course, the sentence goes on to talk about how that happened to be a contradiction because despite that, whatever decision she must have taken would have been pretty traditional and it did not come off as a surprise. So understood what happened? Yes?
Ma'am,
Hmm.
ma'am, what does the word penchant mean?
Who will tell? Penchant. Very quickly. Now here, use the trick that I talked about. That was using root words to predict the meaning of something. In penchant, what other word can you see hidden in penchant?
Like chant.
Chant, okay. Enchant,
Yeah, something related to, yes,
yes, yes.
chant.
So again, not very like extremely related. This is just a guessing habit that you could develop. That would be wonderful. But then penchant in its own self means that somebody having a liking for something. Yes, that's why we said relish. Relish and penchant, when I'm saying that both of them are synonyms that are not changing the meaning. So, what is relish? When you savor something, when you prefer something, you have a preference for something. Or let's say you have the habitual liking for it, right? So, on a similar basis is penchant. So, if somebody has a particular tendency that they like to do a particular thing, so you end up using this word, penchant. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll take a look at one more example. Yes, two more examples actually. So, even after his apology, his behavior was considered whatever by his colleagues. Again, contradictory statement. You have to choose two words. So, again, what is the overall sentiment of this sentence?
Negative.
That negative, correct.
Yeah, something related to arrogance or something.
Yes. So, whatever this person is, whoever this person is, the ultimate mood is that it's negative. It's perhaps the person is rude. They are not too good. So we have to look for words that are signaling towards, let's say, infamy. Yes, you're. Now I have given a hint here. Two words that are signaling towards infamy.
E
So
and
what?
D.
Can you see out the words?
Reprehensible and opprobrious. I learned that word from last session.
Yeah, from the last session. But that is very different. Okay, right now we are not talking about, you know, we are not exactly talking about opprobrious. What are we talking about? What is opprobrious?
Contradictory.
Can you repeat that?
Contradictory.
Yeah, okay. So here that word is not making sense. We are looking for words that are talking about or giving a negative, I'll say, a negative quality to this person. I already hinted you guys, infamy, words that signal infamy. So, infamous or notorious. Even after his apology, his behavior was considered infamous by his colleagues, or it was considered notorious by his colleagues. Why? By infamous, what does infamous mean? And what does notorious mean? Anybody?
Perhaps that's something that's famous for the wrong reason.
Notorious is something nasty.
Exactly. Yes. So essentially, what is the sentence trying to target? The sentence is saying that nobody is going on his actions, and collectively his behavior, his personality, it is considered to be something which is nasty, which is bad, which is not really good. Right? So infamous and notorious. And also why? Because probably that person has garnered a lot of negative attention because of that. Goes along the sentiments of even bad publicity is publicity. Understood? So we'll take a look at one more example now.
Ma'am, I had one doubt in the last
Yeah.
example. Why is reprehensive not a good choice for this question?
So now what is reprehensive?
Something that deserves all the criticism that's thrown at it.
Exactly. So right now, when we talk about reprehensive, it is also used in situations wherein we are dealing with blame, right? Yes, of course, it talks about criticism. It talks about, um, I can say, deserving of bad treatment. But then, apart from that, one more meaning is somewhere, when something is showing blame. So a layer is getting added to it. Right now, I needed very absolute terms that are strictly just talking about somebody having a negative image, somebody having a negative publicity. Reprehensive goes beyond that. It is about something that is unacceptable. It is something that wherein further there can be related actions. So that is when we end up using the word reprehensive. Here we are being told that, okay, yes, this is the overall image that everybody has about him. Nobody is really expecting anything out of that. There is no correctional behavior and process that is going to be there. Yes, we can say that yes, he meets strong criticism, but then we are not looking for any change. We are simply looking for words that are talking about infamy. And infamous, the next answer happens to be infamous. So infamous and notorious go hand in hand here. The moment we bring in the other words, another layer gets added to the sentence. That's why.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Another one. Okay. So now the artist's latest work is as, yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. So opprobrious is also, does that also mean, I mean, related to criticism?
Yes, but how?
I was just confirming the meaning of it. So yeah.
Yes. So now when we talk about opprobrious, last time we had that example. Yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Here, essentially, when we took that example, so what was happening? The mother was uh, getting irritated, perhaps, or we were dealing with scorn,
Yes.
right? So when we talk about that particular scorn, that is very different. It's always related to the words that are being said. You usually use it in the sense to describe what a person is trying to say. Is that thing causing some irritability? Is that thing getting on our nerves? In those senses, we use this word more.
Okay.
So this is very vague. Like opprobrious can be used for anything, right? It has nothing to do with an image, with a particular quality, with how things are like how things are perceived. It's very simply anything that is scornful, anything that is irritating, anything that is getting on the nerves. For all of those reasons, we can use this word.
Okay. Yes.
So while it feels like a good choice again, it's not very precise. Rather, it is a good adjective. Yes, I can use it if I want to, but then right now the noun in concern is behavior,
Okay.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. For sure, I'll move to the next example now. Okay. So the artist's latest work is as whatever XYZ as her previous pieces. Critics find it hard to interpret. This one should be easy.
One would be inscrutable.
Okay. And so essentially something that is hard to interpret. The cue is already given in the sentence. Difficult to understand, essentially. Evident does not make sense. Manifest does not make sense. Opaque,
Lucid.
lucid, no. Lucidity is something else altogether. Lucidity is not difficult to understand. Something pertaining to having difficulty to understand. Something being, let's say,
Obscure.
obscure, correct. Very good. So inscrutable and obscure. Both of them are bringing in this meaning. Yeah. So this one was comparatively easier, I guess. Yes. All right. Now we move on to the next thing. Now this is a very simple situational thing that you can rather do if you're solving sentence equivalence questions and you sit down to practice for yourself as well. Individual practice also whenever you're doing. Of course, initially as you're starting out, you do not have your vocabulary bank ready. Yes, you are simultaneously learning vocabulary, you're revising things, and then we are also solving questions side by side. So when you sit down, this is why I've written this very basic thing for you people, that predict before peaking. So whenever you sit down for your practice, take up that question, even if it's simply for 2 minutes, does not matter. Try and predict. For example, right now, just now we had this thing wherein she asked me the meaning of pageant, and I was like, okay, take a look at it, and for a second, try to figure out all the words that you can find within it. Can you derive some other meaning? Can you find an extension? Can you locate a root verb and a root word, and then perhaps you can figure things out? So this sort of a mental jogging you should be able to do. Especially, this is very good for vocabulary building. Like sentence equivalence is one exercise that really helps you build your vocabulary. So even if you're learning vocabulary, you can use this particular question type and make it work for you. So what should you do? Before looking at any answer, before looking at your clues, sit down, sit with the words, take a look at them, see your sentence and make a prediction. Could be wrong, could be right, does not matter, but definitely try it. And do not get daunted by the idea that, okay, maybe your vocabulary is really bad and you are not able to predict any of the answers, or you're able to predict very less answers, does not matter. Still keep doing it. This will really help you make your own vocabulary back. Yes, you'll be able to relate things. So you'll be able to cluster everything together. All the things that we were discussing that day, right? Next thing that you have to do, well, these are different methods. Choose whatever applies for you depending on the question and the vocabulary set that you get. Not all of this is going to apply on all the questions. That is not possible. So first is find contextual fit. So when we are talking about this, essentially, you have to predict very quickly what is the idea. So right now also we just discussed it in the previous question. I quickly asked you, I did what? Paraphrasing, sort of, right? That, okay, see, it's saying that something we have to figure out that is talking about something that is, let's say, difficult to understand or hard or challenging or something of the sort. So like that, try to find the contextual fit that, okay, this is the context in which the sentence is written. If you're able to get it, understand the words, go for it, go for your answers. Sometimes this also happens. Yes, we have very closely aligned words together. So now watch for intensity and degree. So this is essentially what happened in our previous examples, right? What is the intensity of this particular thing? So this is very simple as, let's say, warm versus hot, something as basic as that. Both of them are variants of the same thing. One is being used to talk about something extreme. Warm is something which is all right. We know that it's a cozy temperature that there is. Lukewarm, if I go, that will further go down, right? So now you knew the difference that, okay, when I'm using these three words, three different degrees of temperatures are being described. So similarly, every word has its own intensity. And then, of course, degree. So, what is the degree? At what level is this sentence trying to talk about something? Is it something very superficial? Is it something that has a deeper meaning? Is it a sentence that is sarcastic in tone? Does it have any undertones? Or is it something which is very superficial? So, based on these things, also, your word choices can differ. So, this is something that you should definitely keep in mind. So do not directly jump to your dictionary. This is one thing I always suggest everyone. We learn the words, we know the meanings, and the very first thing we end up doing, which even I have done at times, is that I'll very quickly just go back to that word that yes, I had learned it and the definition matches. We do not care about the definition in sentence equivalence. We care about the meaning. So the overall meaning takes precedence over everything else. So intensity and degree is that. Now let's say there is a question and you do not really know the words precisely or you're not able to understand the question. So that is where this fourth point comes in. So what can you do? Directly go for elimination. If you're unable to figure out that, okay, exactly what is the answer, firstly, declutter, remove the antonyms that are there, remove any words that you feel that they are unrelated to this entire context. You are left with, let's say, three best choices. That is wherein the final thing will come in. This is something we were discussing previously also, that you have to be aware of trapped words. So this is something that happened with uh, enthusiasm, relish, and penchant. Enthusiasm was a trap word, right? And then we discuss this thing that how it is different. Enjoying something versus being excited for something are two very different nuances. Although they feel that they'll usually be words that they'll be words often confused, sort of like that, we can say. So be aware of them and then go for your choice. So elimination is one process which is always coming in handy. Even if you do not know the words, you can go for it. Got it? So these are the 4-5 ways. Choose whatever fits. Look at your question, whatever is your personal vocabulary level. Based on that, decide what you have to do. And this, all of this can be practiced. How do we practice this? How do we do this now? It's a very textbook answer. Start practicing daily. Okay, that's what really helps with sentence equivalence per se. I'm not even talking about reading comprehension. It happens to be something very hefty. But when it comes to sentence equivalence, daily take up 5 to 10 words. Or let's say, if not 5 to 10 questions, you feel that's a lot and there is a lot of vocabulary and you do not have that familiarity with the words, then maybe you can take up 2 to 3 questions per day. But start doing this daily. Your speed will also increase and you'll be able to figure out that what is the difficulty level that you're comfortable with. Because of course, one thing that happens is that questions are one thing, the level of the difficulty of these questions which you get right, that that like plays a very huge role in determining your score. So if you end up answering, let's say, very average or easy to moderate questions more, but then when it comes to the difficult ones or advanced questions, you are not able to solve any of them, like automatically your score is going to get affected. So that's why this needs to be practiced daily. Yes. Now again we'll move forward. We'll practice. So now a successful leader must be both XYZ and adaptable. Quickly now, what are we looking for? What is the central idea here?
Rigid.
Rigid. Okay. Why rigid? Don't you
Because
feel that a
a
rigid?
successful leader must be strict and adaptable and yeah,
Adaptable. So now adaptable and rigid, won't they be opposites? They are antonyms.
Okay, but then going by the sense of the sentence, uh, I thought it was.
Then we are talking about adaptable. So we are also, yes, the sense that we want to put in is that somebody who is very strong. We need a very
Yes,
strong presence, right?
yes,
So for
ma'am.
that, somebody who is very firm.
Okay, resolute.
Yes, resolute,
Resolute and steadfast.
steadfast. Correct. Very good. So resolute and steadfast. Yes, obstinate, negative ho jaye. Rigid, again, while it again talks about being strong, but then it's a negative term. Rigidity is a negative term. We are
Okay,
looking for something which is positive. So
okay.
again, what happened? These were synonyms, but despite being synonyms, they ended up having very different contexts.
Mm.
So the meaning takes precedence. That is why we said, yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
intensity, degree, and context.
Got it.
Okay. Now, next one. Unlike her predecessor, the new manager is far more. Now, what kind of a word are we looking for based on the choices that we have?
Ma'am,
Somebody
it's
who,
some sort of
Her
comparison.
predecessor is a reckless, maybe.
just a second. Let Prachi finish, then you can say. Yes, Prachi.
Ma'am, here there's some sort of comparison between the predecessor and the new manager,
Right.
and
It
I
has
feel
to be
it's
now. Now, in this situation, what will you do? Do not let the vices of the world take over you. Always
Mhm.
think in a positive direction. That if
Correct.
a comparative sentence has been thrown in front of me, I am talking
Mhm.
about improvements.
Conscientious.
This
Correct.
is this, yeah,
Conscientious.
okay. Yes, Vishal, you were also saying something.
Ma'am, I
And
feel
I
it's
thought,
perfunctory. So
Wait,
sorry.
wait. Oh, so Prachi, first you finish all your choices.
Ma'am, I feel it's perfunctory, but I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay. Then Vishal.
yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
So here, if we go by the comparison, I am assuming that her predecessor was a bit careless.
Correct.
So then it must be meticulous, maybe.
Meticulous, okay. Somebody else also said another word. Arif, I guess it was you.
Yes, ma'am. Conscientious.
Correct. So the correct answers happen to be meticulous and conscientious. Why?
Ma'am, because here we if you're doing the comparison with the predecessor and making going by the sense that she is a bit careless, then the new one might be better than her. So yeah.
She'll be careful. Very simple. Do not overcomplicate things. If
Okay,
the
yes.
previous one is careless, the new one is careful. And careful is very close to being meticulous. And then we have to look for something that if a person is meticulous and careful, so what is the most complementary thing that is coming along with that? So we have to talk about diligence. So we have conscientious. Clear?
And in this question, we cannot go both in the positive way and the negative way.
No, that's what I said. If you encounter such a question
Yes,
in your examination, yes,
always
you
go
have
in the positive way.
positive direction. Do
Yes,
not go in the negative direction because that is the default setting for any examination.
yes.
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am.
whenever you people, let's say you come across any verbal ability set and you see a sentence that feels ambiguous, because yes, of course, ambiguity is something that can happen. Always look for the positive side, or like whatever is the most assertive tone that there is. Look for that positive, unless and until, of course, your sentence is a little bit more descriptive and they have suggested something, right? So unless those descriptions are not outrightly given, we'll work in the direction that, okay, yes, this is definitely talking about something which is improving. It's an improvement. Now, somebody chose perfunctory. Why? Somebody had chosen perfunctory.
Ma'am, that's me.
Yeah. So,
For me, I thought it's somebody like in comparison or opposite to someone who's careless. I got confused. Maybe perfunctory, I was thinking maybe it's someone who's seeking perfection,
oh, no. It
and
does
I
not
was
mean that.
wrong. Yes,
What is the meaning of perfunctory?
I need to check
Something that
that.
is
I
being
haven't.
done. No. So this is when somebody is doing something without any interest.
Oh,
Something is
got
being,
it.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So if somebody is very robot-like, right, there is no thought
got it.
process. They've just done it. So that would be
Then it's
perfunctory.
opposite to the positive way.
Yes. Vishal,
Thank
you've raised your hand. Wanted to add something?
Yes, ma'am. I actually had a doubt. You were telling to look for the go for the positive sense, as in I did not get it, ma'am. Actually.
So essentially, in this particular sentence, what is happening? There were two things that happened in this sentence. Everybody went through that confusion that, okay, unlike her predecessor, now this is very vague. This can go any which way, right? I can also make a negative sentence in the sense that, unlike her predecessor, now this one happens to be very perfunctory or very careless. Like the
Yes.
previous manager could have been good, and the
Mm.
new manager is a downgrade, right?
Yes, sir.
It can go this way as well. So that is what I'm saying, that if you ever come across a sentence that happens to have some amount of ambiguity, you will always go in the positive direction.
Okay, okay, yes.
Yes, you'll presume that, okay, now there has been an improvement, or we are
Okay.
talking about something positive, and you will avoid negative words.
Okay, so the word that we're trying to fit in should be in the positive sense if there's an
Yes.
ambiguity in the sentence given.
Yes, this is a pattern for almost every exam that exists. If you people very closely inspect your question choices, you will see mostly, of course, unless and until there is a very outright description that is given which is negative, in that scenario we go for negative words. Otherwise, you will always see very assertive vocabulary being chosen as your answers.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the question construction part. All right, next one. His explanation left everyone confused. So now, very simple this one. We are essentially talking about something which is confusing.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous, okay. What else?
Dubious.
Dubious.
Enigmatic.
एनिग्मेटिक तो नहीं आएगा, बिल्कुल भी नहीं आएगा. This is
Ambiguous
enough
and
related to it.
Yes.
A and C, man.
Yes, correct. Ambiguous and dubious. We are talking about something which is unclear. Straightforward, clear, सीधे antonyms हैं. Coherent again, this should be explained. Enigmatic is again very different in its meaning. So very simple words we have to look for. Yes. Enigmatic, what does it mean?
Well,
Something
something
hard to
difficult to comprehend.
Yes, very good. Difficult to comprehend. But then here, would enigmatic make sense? No. Why? Despite having or carrying the same meaning. Again, here comes in the concept of degree. Yes. Something which is mysterious is also enigmatic. So when we say that, oh, he is an enigma or she is an enigma, we are essentially saying that while they are very difficult to understand, they have a mysterious quality to them.
I mean, slightly positive sense. Let's take
Not positive, but then this adjective is more suited to, let's say, situations, personalities, complex topics that are there, something which is very abstract. If we look at this sentence, it is very concrete.
Got it.
So this is the tonality. You also have to read out the tonality of your sentence.
Excuse
The
me,
thing
ma'am.
that, yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah,
So you just said ki we can use enigmatic to for some concepts as well. So
right.
Then why can't here be it be enigmatic? Because the concept.
Look at the noun explanation.
Okay.
Not every noun is going to go with every adjective, right?
Yes.
If I have to describe, let's say, my students, there will be a certain register that I'm going to stick to, and I'm going to say that, okay, yes, they're enthusiastic, or they're good, or they're brilliant. Yes. So there is a register that goes with a particular set of nouns. So you also have to keep, that is what context means.
Okay.
All right. Now, very quickly, practice problems for you people. So you people have 2 minutes. Very quickly, you can take a look at these questions. You have to make your guesses. We'll be solving it. So I'm giving you people 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. Solve this, and then we discuss the answers. We're only getting 2 minutes to do this. Yes, this is more of a speed test. You either know the meanings or you do not know. Try to solve it like you would do it in your exam. You all can share your answers in the chat box. You can put it in the chat box itself. You can send it as a direct message to me. Works either way. All right, 2 minutes are over. One more was there. I forgot. Right, so we'll take a look at this. Rather than being dash, the mayor's speech was direct and uncomplicated.
Ma'am, I want to understand, do we have to learn this vocab?
Yes, of course. You'll have to learn the vocabulary. You'll have to practice vocabulary. That is why we are doing this practice.
And from these questions, do we have to learn these words specifically?
Of course, yes. All of these are related to GRE exams, like the most prominent words that you see. So all
Yeah,
the
so
practice sheets that you get, and also the summer vocabulary book that you people have received. It
yes.
has the whatever the words that have been given there. These are the prominent words that are used in the question bank of GRE.
Okay, talking about the common words, ma'am, is there a list of words somewhere we can find out?
So
Because
I'll come to this.
obviously,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'll come to this question once we are done with the questions here. Okay?
Okay, sure, sure,
All
sure.
right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So very quickly, rather than being dash, the mayor's speech was direct and uncomplicated. So we have to choose something which is an opposite of direct. Very simple. So what are the two words? Convoluted, A, and intricate, F. Okay, convoluted and intricate, A and F.
Why not protracted, ma'am?
Now again, what is the meaning of protracted?
It's long and winding.
And
Something that's long and winding.
again, are we related to, are we talking about the duration here?
But when this is what I understood from this, when we're talking
Hmm.
about it's like to the point, the concise. So in that case, the opposite.
Here you see, this is the perfect example of what happens. And of course, this is a very valid thing that happens. We have our own way to perceive the sentence, right?
Mhm.
Now, here, what ended up happening? If this was a general question wherein I would have asked you that, okay, yes, tell me what words can fit in here. Protracted is a nice word that you can choose. That, okay, yes, the speech went here and there or whatever it is. But right now, the target of your exercise, sentence equivalence, the target for that is what? That you have to use words that when replace each other, do not alter the meaning of the sentence. So if my first choice happens to be convoluted, that is not related to duration then. Now I need to look for a word. Both of them should be highlighting the idea, a very basic idea, that is being opposite of direct, something being complicated. So what two words are showing complication? Convoluted and intricate. So while protracted happens to be a related word, it is very nice if you are independently writing this sentence and you want to describe something. Protracted would be a befitting adjective if you want to add on. But right now for this particular exercise, is this a good choice? No. Do not get carried away with the sentence. Also remember this thing that the two words that I'm going to choose, they should be, when I replace one word with the other, that does not alter the meaning. They fall in the same category. That is important.
Okay, thank you. I've noted this. I'll revise my choice for the other ones.
Yeah. Then the scientist theory was dismissed as XYZ, ungrounded in existing research. So again, what is the central idea? That it was something which is
Skeptical.
skeptical, not
Like
entirely.
something which needs further research, or it is not too like pure or filtered.
That is undercooked, right?
Okay.
So now for this, what are the two words? Speculative and unproven. A and F. Right? Substantiated cannot be. Rigorous cannot be. They're complete opposites. Dubious is an unfitting adjective. It's a very vague adjective if you're talking about a theory, right? Because the theory has been dismissed in a particular way. So here comes in the concept of register. Again, what is register? Every particular situation has a befitting set of vocabulary that is applicable on that particular thing. So here again, when I am describing a particular theory that is being given by a scientist, I have to use a certain set of academic words that are able to describe that theory. So dubious, theoretical again, while it is a word related to research, here in this particular context, it is not making sense. So unproven and speculative. Clear? Next one. In a country so dash, policies often need to address numerous cultural groups. This is very easy. We already have our hint. We are looking for something that is talking about,
Diverse.
diverse. Very good. And another word for diverse?
Multifaceted. Varied,
No,
sorry, varied.
varied. Correct. Again, multifaceted talks about someone who has, let's say, multiple talents or who has multiple sides to them. They might be very they might be very adept at a lot of things. But then that is very different from the diverse group sets that we are talking about. Yes, so we are talking about a heterogeneous mix. So for that, diverse and varied. And very quickly, just one more question that we have here.
Ma'am,
I-
how to select which one is correct, B or D, diverse or varied in this?
both. You have to select two.
Okay,
We have been selecting two words till now, dear.
okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. Then, even the most, now here, of course, you can see the answer on the screen, it's there. Even the most XYZ readers struggled with the complex narrative. So here, what are we trying to talk about? Here comes in the concept of being excited, enthusiastic, the word that we got stuck with in our very first example. We're talking about someone who is very enthusiastic. So even the most dash readers struggle with the complex narrative. Very simple, readers. Readers से related,
Read.
बहुत ही evident. Yes, very good. Avid and
Voracious.
voracious, correct. So this is again based on what? Your practice. You've heard it somewhere, you've heard somebody describe it, you read it somewhere. So at times you will also reach to answers because you will have heard it somewhere that, okay, yes, this is the traditional adjective or word that is associated with this sort of a noun. So the adjective noun relationships also matter. Is the concept of sentence equivalence clear to everyone now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That's wonderful. Just a second.